General Andrews,
And the Dream Stream presents Rapid Runs.
And GG's to Knucklebuster on a very, very good race. Very close. Yeah, what you saw there is we both went for what's called the potion jump. It is a completely unnecessary strat. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, we both had to take a death because of it. So, you know, GG's KB. And what you're going to see now, Dreamers, is KB showcasing another great NES game. We've got Super Mario Brothers 2. Now, this game is beloved. When you put the icons of the NES platform, you know, Super Mario Brothers 2 has got to be, it's got to be up there. I know it makes top 15 in most countdowns in like reader polls and, you know, fan polls. So, you know, whenever Knucklebuster is ready, you're going to see there's going to be a Luigi only run here. Yeah, how we doing, Dreamers? How are we enjoying the Dream Races so far? What'd you think of the Ninja Gaiden run? Yeah, thank you, Train, for the Gotel. Yeah, now imagine if you had an opportunity to help cure something, and you can just click those links and help out. It's an amazing cause. All right, KB is ready to go. So the timer in this game is going to begin on character selection. So as soon as KB selects Luigi, then we can start the timer, and then the timer will end when he goes through the final boss door. All right, Knucklebuster is ready. And we're off. All right, so we got to reset. All right. And as we enter 1-1, the nice thing about Luigi is that he has the floatiest jump, and even though the optimized speedrun does actually use Toad and I think Princess, and maybe Luigi in a couple of spots, the run Knucklebuster is going to do here is going to feature just Luigi. And so you can see he's taking some double jump opportunities because there is a mechanic in this run where if you get close to a sprite, as you can see, he kind of double jump there into that door. If you push the jump button close enough to the sprite, you can actually kind of get a double jump, taking advantage of a screen glitch there. All right, and the Birdo egg cycle is every 4 seconds. So every 4 seconds, you're going to see Birdo will shoot an egg. And then this egg is used to move on past this mini boss. We'll see. We'll try to skip any coins or power-ups, you know, that would slow us down or make the screen transitions longer. You know, choosing our character as quickly as possible. Now we're entering to what is one of my favorite screens in this speed run, 1-2. KB is going to go down this second secret area here, pick up the key, and then he's going to bounce off the top of the ninja. And he's going to try to get this key to the end of the screen and through the door, where he can take it and use it for a quick kill, a damage boost on the Birdo. Nice job, KB, showing off the damage boost. So, already only 1 minute and 30 seconds or so into the run, we're already into the third stage. All right, so here Luigi is ideal for this screen because, you know, this screen includes a number of platforms, and, you know, for a platform speed run, Luigi does kind of make a nice choice through here. But as is typical in an any percent speed run, we are going to want to finish the game as quickly as possible, which is going to include this potion and this warp zone, which is well known if you're familiar with the game from, you know, childhood. So that's going to take us to, you know, our favorite stage, which has ice mechanics. 4-1. And again, Luigi makes a good choice in here because, you know, you can kind of float over these enemies. You can take it nice and safe, and there's not a lot of risk of losing the the power up, or as you get to the end of the screen, you hop in the rocket here. Yeah, now there's a strat there where you can use a pause glitch to get out of the rocket slightly quicker, but in the Luigi only run, you then make it a little bit risky here, because then it's a one-hit death and a repeat of the screen. So, if you keep the sort of larger version of Luigi here, then it's a much less risky screen. So again, no bonuses, no shots at the jackpot. All right, into 4-2. This is actually kind of a tricky screen. It gets a little technical. A lot of people like to use the princess in this stage, but with Luigi, we'll see if Knucklebuster does use the double jump and he tries to go over the top here. There is some precision to the hitbox there. It's not the easiest thing to do. So 3 double jumps in a row. Also kind of showing off a little bit lesser known route there. Right, but continuing in through the door here, we are going to want to grab the potion. And then you're going to want to make Luigi's going to need to jump across these, whales and their, kind of like, little riders there and the obstacles, while still getting the potion over to this spot where you can warp, and without throwing the potion in the ocean. Seeing these potion jumps are really important. And so now you're going to want to bounce off these enemies to make sure that you don't get stuck here in the quicksand. And the Luigi-only route here will include kind of a jump off of those snakes, and then you try to bounce off of these moving cactus plant things. And then off you go into the, down into this thing where you can pick up the, thing you need to move on. So he's gonna dig right under the key here. There it is. That's what I need. The key. A disrespectful crossing of the face there. Nice, KB. Yeah, if you throw the potion in the ocean, you do, I think, have to do what we did in the Gaiden run, which is take an intentional death. Now, let's see if KB shows off the hitbox glitch here. He's going to just use the speed. Going with the speed kill. There is a mechanic in this game where you can pick up the block as the projectile flame is coming at you. And it'll actually render the hitbox, kind of not there. It's kind of cool. All right, as we enter one of the most important screens of the game, you want to kill this fire thing. Get quickly over. Oh, and KB unfortunately gets a little slippery there. But it's not KB's fault. It's Luigi's fault. Luigi often forgets to tie his shoelaces. So another chance, new shoelace on there. Nope, see, that time, another shoelace broken. And we'll see now if KB attempts another. Okay. Backing up here. May go for the little bit longer ride. Okay. Looks like we're going top pigeon. And now this is a good time to catch up with our donations. So anybody who hasn't had a chance to donate yet, and now is a good time. Many years ago, there was a disease that affected a lot of children, and they noticed that the rates of this disease would spike in the summertime, and for reasons that were not really well known. And they also noticed that ice cream sales spiked in the summertime. They figured children eat a lot of ice cream. Maybe this is causing this terrible disease. And the disease I'm talking about is polio. And of course, ice cream was not causing polio, but this is the kind of thing, a great example of why research is needed, and that research needs funding. So imagine if back then you could have been a part of the efforts to raise money, even a small donation, $5, $10, back then to, find a cure that really legitimately helped millions of people. And that's what you have a chance to do that tonight. Watch an amazing speedrunner, not just at, NES video games, but also Super Nintendo games, but also a number of caring individuals, right? The Dreamers are a community of people that want to take their talents and KB, just barely missing the potion jump there. We're going to go for a second attempt. So, if you have the opportunity to, be a part of the the funding of something that, could really find a cure. Yeah, first try there, KB. And I think it's important to take that opportunity if you can. Yeah, attack. This stage can be somewhat annoying, but, it shows the perseverance here. KB showing off a nice kill on Birdo there. Yeah, so anybody interested in donating, just click that link in chat, and any donation you can muster. There is no donation that's too small. If it helps, fund some research that eventually leads to the improvement of people's lives when it comes to those affected by lupus. All right, not a hard choice there. Sticking with Luigi. And here we are, almost at the end of the game. So, time is running out. If you do click that link, you have a chance to donate. As KB shows off, is he going to go for the jump here? He is. Goes for the risky pillar jump. And now we have the second rocket ship. The rocket ship. All right, an important jump coming up here. Going to bounce off the bouncing enemy. Skip most of the screen. All right. Moving into J-Riggs' favorite stage here. And here you're going to want to watch out for this electrical enemy. Nice safety jump there from KB. Oh, going to take second safety jump there. Yep. And up we go. And this is why Luigi is an important character in this part of the speedrun, because he's the only character that can make that jump. A pretty nice climb. All right. One of the final Birdo fights of the game. KB showing off the hitbox glitch there. All right, one final selection of Luigi. So we enter into the final stage. And use the duck approach there. Very nice. We'll see how risky KB takes this approach. Ooh, going a little bit ham here. Off the enemies. Over the flames and up the chains. All right, can use a screen clip here and then a screen clip here to get up and over the top of the screen. And this allows us to skip most of this section of the run. And also we'll spawn in the key. Yeah, I got a nice kill there. And skipping that fight. So it's not the last Birdo you see, but it is the last Birdo fight. See, it's an interesting thing. You see Birdo. All right. Into one of the most difficult boss fights at the end of a speedrun here. And 1, 2. Did he get 2? No, he only got he did. He got the double hit. That's a 1, 2, 3. All right. Into the only Mario game that doesn't have Wart as the final boss. Or I'm sorry, it has Wart as the final boss and not Bowser. See how confusing this is? Way too confusing. This game's way too hard. All right, and you have to feed Wart a series of vegetables, and those vegetables are, I think, somewhat random. But KB showing off the nice buffer jumps here. So 2 large jumps and a throw should put the vegetable down the throat each time. All right, well, a little extra cycle here. And of course, you do have the extra hit if you need it, but very rude bubbles there. All right. And I think the extra vegetable takes the damage. And the timer will stop as he enters the door. And time. All right, so looking at about an 11:22. Now, see, that's a fantastic time. That's 2 1s and 2 2s. So you gotta love when the numbers match. Well done, KB. GG's. And Luigi the whole way. I want to thank KB. I want to thank Knucklebuster. I want to thank Fabricator General. And I want to thank General Andrews. And I want to thank all the dreamers, everybody in chat who's lurking and chatting with us, and everybody who's donated, and everybody who's going to donate as we wrap up this amazing 11th anniversary of the Dream Races. And I got to say, General Andrews, I mean, it's been 11 amazing years, and I want to thank you for letting KB and I be a part of the, the festivities with the Ninja Gaiden race, and thank you for letting me do the commentary on KB's run. And here we have Sleeping Mario. Yeah, GG's, KB. Yeah, thank you, General Andrews. We'll turn it back over to you.
Why, thank you so much, Razul, and absolutely GG to you, Knucklebuster. My goodness. I got a little worried when I saw the lives were low, and I was like, I don't remember the game over situation in Super Mario Brothers 2. So I was like, I feel like this is getting a little sweaty here at the end. But that was more so for me because I'm not the one behind the control. You know, I'm feeling it. Feeling the lungs, feeling it really in the chest. Whoo! So, folks, let's get those GGs in chat one more time for the combination of Razul, Knucklebuster, and let's not forget the awesome commentary from Fabricator General on the previous run. All right, folks, we're going to let these lovely folks enjoy the rest of their evening. They took time out of their day to prepare for this, time out of their evening tonight to go ahead and hang out here with us and showcase some really cool stuff, because sometimes when things go wrong, like you heard it, it's a marathon, you don't get a reset. Okay, you don't get a reset, and so therefore they embodied that to the fullest and they just crushed it. So as we see these beautiful, beautiful icons of the enemies going through at the end of the screen here, Mario's enjoying his sleep. He doesn't count sheep, he counts Birdos, Astros, Autobombs, Cobrats. That's what they definitely are. The Mauser, you know what I'm saying? You can see Fry Guy. You can see Claw Clip. Glip, I don't know what. Triclide, at least you gotta see that nasty, nasty snake. And finally, and most importantly, our favorite Bowser, Wart. All right, you two, have a wonderful night. The end.